Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to use the base inventory system. This system has made three major blueprints to set the game, character, and the item. If you want to change the character value, first click on the main blueprint, BP component, BP character state. In here there is a function, set attribute. You can do this by two ways. The first one, change the default number. After I change the default number, you can see the basic stat has changed. Okay, the second way we can change it is using the function. See here, there's a bonus. You just need to add bonus point inside. So when it comes out, it will add the default value and the bonus together and generate a new value. So here, you will see it will become 250. So these character states have all the value you need in a character status or the attribute you need. So what anything you want to change about the character, make sure you do it in here. The second thing I'm going to show you is how to create an item. First of all, the second thing I need to go to main blueprint again. In here there is items. In the items, we have a base item BP and all the folder is child. So all the child BP is put inside the folder and the main one is here. So make sure you right click, create a child blueprint class. And this one will be your new items. Make sure to name it properly. After naming your new item, go to data table. Click on the item info DT. Add a new row. Make sure you need to name this new row properly. In this data table, we have 5 types of items. The first type is tools, mainly the consumable tool items, the weapons, and also the armors. The second type, keys. Third type, sorcery. The fourth is the talisman, and the final is the booster. So I will go through it one by one. The first one, I will go through the tools, which is some consumable tools. When you use it, it will reduce, it will remove. This type of tools, you need to set the name of it. For example, these types, I will set it to be new items, and then must all the item you need to have an image. And then you can set the current hold, make sure more than one. And then maximum number holes and the max hold number. These two numbers make sure to be more than 0. And the item index you can leave it to 0 because whenever we pick up an item, the system will automatically to create a new index for this item. So you don't need to set it right here. The item type, you need to select the tools because it's a consumable tools. And then you can see some different infos according to different types of items. Because we are this type of item we creating is tools, so this 1, 2, 3, 4 infos we can leave it empty. And here you can have a item effect and the description text. The item effect will you can describe what this item using for. For example, for my HP flask, I will just say recover HP. And the description is kind of different. You can write the item details description, some story, about these items, etc. This tool info will show in different pages inside the inventory system, so make good use of it. The effect I will usually make it short, and the description I can make it more dramatic and some story inside. So right now I will set 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to show you how it would be inside this inventory system after we create it. So the next we going to set the item effect. Go to the main blueprint and we can see the item effect. Right click, create child blueprint class. Name it. Let's just say new effect. After we go inside the new effect, we have two interfaces, the player info and also the update items. When we create a two items, make sure you need both of them. The player info, we need it to set status and also need to remove the items. And the update item, it will show how many or how much the items still left. So two of them is really important to use. Okay, let's just say we create a item that will increase our FP, and after we doing it, it will remove the item by 1. So first of all, you need to use these items and break it. When you break it, find the current hole. And we set a branch if the current hole is equal to 0. If it equal to 0, it will destroy the ether. Or let's just say do nothing. And if it's not equals to 0, it has some items left, we can carry on the function. So to set up the attribute, we need to find the state first. Get the character state. And inside we have the function of set attribute. As we just learned how to use it, first of all, set the attribute type to FP, and then set the original value. The original value is 99, and then we add a bonus. Let's just say we add 900. So the new FP value will be 999. And then we need to remove one of the item before we destroy it. So we need to use the inventory system, which is another component which contains all the item info, equipment info, etc. So how do we find where to find this is inside the main blueprint, BP components, and then inventory. Inside it, you can see we have the function to pick items, to add the items inside our structure, and also to remove items. I create a flash remove specifically because it may change the image inside after we use the flash. But if you don't need to change any image, you just use this, it's okay. Let's just drag this remove tools inside our new event. And make sure you plug this in here. Okay, this needs to break the link and drag it here. Oh, okay. Right now the logic is if the item is not equal to 0, then we can use the items to set attribute to 999, and then we remove the tools. The tools I select to remove is 1. Okay, but here is another thing you need to do. We need to create another branch. In this branch, we need to find the equip, get equip. Okay, so this variable is based on the base item effect BP. As we create the child, this child also share this variable. However, you can see it right here. So if you want to use it, just type equip and you can use it. So let me just explain how this works. First of all, we check if the item is empty or not. If it is not empty, we will check also if it is equipped or not. If it is unequipped, we will not spawn anything. But if it is equipped, we will spawn the effect above. That means we will set the FP to 999 and also we remove a tools. And after doing all kind of thing, we will destroy the ether. So to prevent there is a item or there is a ether still left inside our world and affect our performance. Okay, after setting all this up, just check it. Pick it up. First, before we use the item, so the status is 99 FP. And after we use it, the item is disappeared, and then the status will be 999. It's successful to spawn the function. So that's how you do to create the item event and to create the tools. Okay, next we are going to know how to set up the key items. So if you want to set the key items, it's really easier than the tools because you don't need to set any item effects at all. You just need to fill in other things and make sure the number current hold and the maximum hold is set to 1 because uh, each key is unique, right? You don't want to duplicate and to have more than one keys to collect. So if you want to collect each unique keys, make sure to set maximum hold and maximum hopper hold to be 1 and set to be key items. And what you need to do is to set the blueprint inside the door. So you click main blueprints, door. And here I have 2 demonstration doors and you can click inside it. You can see I have a complete blueprint set up. And what you need to change if you want to use it is to change the tab here. So if you want to create a new door, let me show you a sample. Just right click, create a child. Let's say it's door 3. When we open it, just copy the blueprint here and to just copy all the blueprint here. And don't forget to change the name here. You see, because when we pick up the keys, I have a system, it will add a tab inside the third person character. So make sure this tab is same as the name here. So if you add a third key, you name it, for example, key 3. And in here, make sure you also name it to be key 3, or else the door system will not work. Okay, next one will be the sorceries. Sorceries you need to set up the similar to the tools items, and also you need to set up the sorcery infos. Inside the sorcery infos, you need to set up the type of the sorceries. This scaling infos is a bit similar to the weapons smithing, so I will talk about it later on. And inside it, you also need to set up the required FP, the required slots. It is very important you have the correct required slot because the slot will affect the calculation inside the system. If, if you if the slot is too large, it may not insufficient slot for you to equip. But if you have two need to slot, for example 0, it may also mess up the calculation also. And finally, you have a magic damage. It can be useful when you attack an enemy and to calculate based on this magic damage. Okay, after setting up the sorcery infos, you make sure you also set up the item effects. The item effect needs to include the gestures, the visual effects, and also the damage attack inside the item effects. So just like what I said in the item choose effect, you need to go to the item effect, just add a child, and to create your own montage animations or other spawning effect inside this effect. After done, and you can have a complete sorcery. Okay, the next one is the Talisman. The Talisman also similar to the choose item info to set up, and don't forget to add Talisman info, including the type and also the increase rate. And for the item effect, I need to have some reminders because the item effect has a equip and unequip system. So make sure if you need to create your own talisman, you need to have a branch of the equip. When it's set to be equipped, it will have a effect showing on, and if the items is unequipped, you will set all the data back to 0 or back to the original value. So you need to have this set up so that the talisman can be worked correctly. It's a bit different from the tools items. Okay, so the next one will be armor. Armor, you need to set up just like the items, tools, and and then you need to set up the equipment infos. Make sure you leave the weapon info empty and then fill in the the armor info, including the armor type, the defense, and the resistance. Friendly remind that the shield is both a armor and a weapon, so it will talk about it inside the weapon. After setting up, you need to also decide which you are going to use, the skeletal mesh or the static mesh. For the skeletal mesh, I suggest you use on your body, your hand, and your leg because it will move along with your character's bones. But if some of the mesh you don't need to move along or just attach to your body is okay, you can just use the static mesh, the item mesh you can use here. Okay, the next one will be weapon. Weapons similar to the armor, but mainly we will use the static mesh. And in the equipment infos, we will leave the armor info empty. And for the weapon info, we will set the weapon type, scaling info, the damage, and finally the weapon levels. Okay, let's talk more about this scaling info. This scaling infos including the upgrade, the weapons, the additional damage of this of the weapons and also the required attributes of the weapons. If this number the character is not matched, it will reduce the attack power by half. And this number scaling will affect the smithing and also the additional damage of the weapon. Inside these weapons, you can see the number scaling is translated into a alphabet scaling, and this scaling is also affect the attack power at the right hand side. So the greater the attribute scaling is, the greater the attack power is. Right here there is a table show you how the number scaling refer to the alphabet scaling. So when you create a new weapon, you can refer to it. For the final weapon, the shield, because it's both a armor and also a weapon, so you need to set the armor info and also the weapon info. And for the mesh, you can set either the static mesh or the skeletal mesh. So here has a conclusion of the weapon setup. And this is the end of the tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know and leave comment below or just email me. I hope you enjoy this inventory system and thank you for watching this tutorial.